the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is the beginning of the Labor Day weekend, and these two teams are in a pennant race, so this makes it a labor of love. It is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the first of three from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. Yes, we transport you back to the late 90s. That's right, because the Yankees and the Orioles are in a pennant race. Who'd have thunk it? Take a look at the American League East. The Yankees with just a 3-game lead over Baltimore, lurking behind them. The Rays 4.5 out, and then the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Kenny, a lot of people expected the Yankees to be there. But the Orioles?
Yeah, I expected the Yankees. The Yankees are in first place for the 80th consecutive day starting tonight. But the fact is that the Orioles, they've kind of switched spots with the Red Sox. You would figure the Red Sox would be right up there with the Yankees. That is not the case this year. Red Sox well behind. The Orioles have taken on the persona of Buck Showalter. They have really turned it on. They win the close games. When they lose them, they have a tendency to be blown out.
Unbelievable. Let's take a look now at the New York Lottery pitching matchup. Miguel Gonzalez is going to go for the O's. He's 5-3 with a 3.66. And Hiroki Kuroda for the Yankees, 12-9 with a 2.98. And his splits are very odd, Kenny, first half to second half.
First half to second half, when you look at his first half, not so bad. He had a winning record of 8-7, 17 starts. The ERA somewhat bloated, 3.50. But the second half, he's been the Yankees' best pitcher. 9 starts, 4-2. The ERA, 2.15. And look at the walk to strikeout ratio. He's only walked 8 batters since the All-Star break and struck out 48.
Well, he's got a tough number tonight against this Baltimore Orioles team. They are streaking right now. But what are they about? No one expected them to be here. When we come back, Ken Singleton will delve into it and give a scouting report. Donuts team scouting report on the Orioles. Kenny, tell me about this team.
Well, they seem to win all the close games, Michael. 24 wins and 6 losses in 1-run decisions. They've won 80% of their 1-run games. Most wins since 2005. They have more wins than they've had since going back to 2005 season. And Strop and Johnson, these two guys at the end of the games, Pedro Strop and Jim Johnson, have been lights out. They have been just wonderful in shutting down the opposition. That's one reason why they have so many wins in 1-run ball games.
Yeah, and it seems like Showalter has used them at the right time, so they win close games and they win extra inning games.
Yes, they do. They've won 13 straight 1-run decisions. That's a franchise record. When you look at the bullpen, Pedro Strop comes in about the 8th inning, and he's got lights out stuff. He's given up just 1 home run all season long. Then he turns it over to Jim Johnson, who has 41 saves. That leads the league, and he also has more saves than the Houston Astros have wins. So he's had a great year. The Oriole bullpen's been very, very tough.
Yeah, it's a battle for first place between the Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Burger King. Come play family food, where every game piece has a prize. By your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers, visit VWDealer.com. And by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Who'd have thunk it on August 31st that this series is going to mean a lot for the Orioles, but it certainly does. Yankees 3 games ahead of Baltimore. Buck Showalter has turned the team around in his second full season, and that has been the way he's done it throughout his career. Let's take a look at his lineup today, and it is presented by Bank of America. Orioles lead off their right fielder, Nick Markakis. The shortstop is J.J. Hardy. He'll bat second. Batting third, the left fielder, Nate McLeod. Adam Jones in center field cleans up. Batting fifth, the catcher, Matt Wieters. Chris Davis, the DH, will bat sixth. The number 6 hitter, first baseman, Mark Reynolds. Omar Quintanilla is the second baseman. He's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing third base, Manny Machado.
Hiroki Kuroda gets a start for the Yankees tonight, the opening game of this 3-game series. And you can see by the numbers, he's having a tremendous year, particularly the earned run average now under 3 at 2.98. He is 1-0 in his career against the Baltimore Orioles. Let's check out at McDonald's pitcher scouting report. Right-handed batters are hitting a paltry .213 against Kuroda. That's primarily because of his great slider down and away to the righties. He's only allowed 10 hits to all types of hitters in his last 25 innings. He's been sharp and awesome in the month of August. Too bad this is the last day of the month. He's had an ERA this month of 1.91. He has been dealing.
So there he deals his last warm-up, and the throw through by Russell Martin, and we're almost ready here at the stadium. The beginning of a Labor Day weekend. We hope that you and your family have the best time this weekend. And enjoy your day off if you're off on Monday. Crowd still filing into Yankee Stadium. It's a really lovely summer-type evening.
Yeah, people might be lamenting the end of summer, but now it's time for stretch-run baseball.
That'll heat things up.
Yes, it will.
So now we see if the Orioles can handle higher leverage games, bigger crowds, bigger manifestations of pressure. Can they do it? They're young. They haven't been in a pennant race. We'll see. Hiroki Kuroda is ready. Nick Markakis is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is lined into right field. It's a base hit in front of Ichiro. Kind of caught betwixt and between there. Didn't know whether he should really go for it and risk having it go by him. So he plays it on a hop as Markakis leads off with a single.
Here's the base hit by Markakis, who's been moved to the leadoff spot by Buck Showalter. This is his 46th consecutive game leading off, and he's been hitting .333. That's since Brian Roberts went out with an injury for the year and had hip surgery. So Nick Markakis has taken towards that leadoff spot very well.
Now .337 after that single. Here's J.J. Hardy, and there's a strike. This has been Kuroda's toughest inning this year. He has a 5.54 first inning ERA. And he's allowed 20 runs in the first inning this year in 26 starts. Gave up 3 runs against the Indians in his last start in the first inning, and that held up.
One thing about Markakis in the leadoff spot, when Brian Roberts was there, he was more of a stolen base threat. Markakis only 1 steal. He's been caught 1 time, although he's had much better years in the stolen base department. The Orioles don't run much, period. They only have 1 player in double figures, and that's Adam Jones, who has stolen 12 bases.
There's Adam. He cleans up for the O's. Kuroda really slows down when there are men on base. A fast worker otherwise. The 1-1. Grounded to third. Chavez to second one. On to first. Around the horn double play.
Well, one of the pitches that was inside to Hardy was a sinking fastball, a 2-seamer, trying to get the ground ball, and it appears he threw him another one and got the desired effect. To Cano, who whips it over to Nick Swisher at first. Take a look at the pitch. Well, actually was up in the zone. That's a danger pitch to Hardy. He likes the high fastball, but this time he chops it to third. and it's almost running to first. He knew it was going to happen.
So the runner quickly erased. 2 outs, and here is Nate McLouth. There's a strike. McLouth used to be a really good player, really bordering on a star with the Pirates, but his star has fallen. Was in the minor leagues. The Orioles have called him up, and he's done a good job for them.
Yeah, he was an all-star with the Pirates back in 2008. He was traded to the Braves and then kind of went downhill from that point on. As you said, the Orioles signed him, sent him to Norfolk AAA. He had a decent year at AAA. The Orioles had some problems with left field. They called up McLouth, and he's done a decent job. When they first got him, he was batting down in the order. Tonight, he's batting third.
The 0-2. Let's quickly look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Ibanez, Granderson, and Ichiro left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's Chavez, Jeter, Cano, and Swisher. That's third to first. Martin behind the plate, and Kuroda is on the mound. 1-2. Buck Showalter thinks that McLouth has been helped by the fact that the bench coach for the Orioles is John Russell. So there's a familiarity there. John Russell was the manager of the Pirates at one point when McLouth was there. 2-2. Strike 3. McLouth down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and because of the DP, nobody left on base. Orioles nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. To take their chance against Miguel Gonzalez, and here's the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop Derek Jeter leads off, batting second and playing first Nick Swisher. The second baseman Robinson Cano will hit third. Cleaning up center fielder Curtis Granderson. Then it's Eric Chavez at third, Raul Ibanez in left. Russell Martin will catch. Ichiro Suzuki in right bats eighth, and Jason Nix, the DH, will bat ninth.
28-year-old right-hander Miguel Gonzalez on the mound for the Baltimore tonight. He's 1-0 in his career against the Yankees. He beat them here at Yankee Stadium on July the 30th. You can look at his numbers. 9 starts out of 12 ball games this year. 5-3, 3.66, less than a hit per inning. An opponent's batting .248. Let's just look at the McDonald's pitcher scout report. Is he rested or is he rusted? He hasn't pitched since August the 20th. Might be a little rusty. We'll find out in just a little while here. During his career in the Angels system, he had injury issues. He had a knee injury, kept him out 1 year. Next year, he had Tommy John surgery, kept him out the next year. And that held back his progression to the major leagues. And on that July 30th game against the Yankees, he had a season-high 8 strikeouts in that game right here at the stadium as Baltimore won 5-4.
So Derek Jeter, who leads the majors with 176 hits, he leads off. Jeter, Swisher, and Cano. Grounded up the middle, J.J. Hardy is there. And against Jeter, 1 pitch, 1 out. Check out the Oriole defense, which is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Pretty good defensive outfield for the Orioles. McLouth, Jones, and Markakis left to right. Infield, Machado, Hardy, Quintanilla, and Reynolds third to first. Wieters behind the plate, and Gonzalez is on the mound. Wieters has been an Iron Man for this team. He had played 8 straight days and had yesterday off, but he's used to being in there. 116 of the 130 games they've played, 105 as a catcher.
Yeah, Taylor Teagarden got to start yesterday in the final game of the homestand for Baltimore. Hit a home run and a double.
Swisher takes a strike.
Yeah, one thing to look for from Gonzalez in the early going, is he getting his fastball over? Is he too rested? Is he too strong and the ball doesn't have much movement? And his breaking ball, can he get it over consistently? There. That was his first breaking ball. Had some sharp break to it, but was out of the strike zone.
The 1-1. There's the strike. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 88 degrees, 35% humidity. The wind is 12 miles per hour, and it is a great night for baseball. We thank you for joining us. Gets a little bit low at the fastball, 2-2. Yankees have been in first place 80 straight days, and that is their longest stretch since 2004. Swing and a miss. Swisher down on strikes on the change.
There's always the possibility, as Gonzalez throws his first changeup, got good movement on it as well. This is the time of year when Buck Showalter's been pushing some of his pitchers back. Gonzalez tonight hadn't pitched since the 20th. Chen's getting an extra day tomorrow, so he's trying to give these guys a little more rest in between starts, so maybe have a little bit more zip on that fastball when they come out to the mound. There's Wei-Yin Chen, who'll be pitching tomorrow. Having a good year.
Cano takes outside. Clips the outside corner with a fastball, 1-1. Cano 10 hits in his last 26 at bats. Yankees had yesterday off. High fly ball, deep right center. Jones back on the track, and he makes the play in front of the wall for the final out of a 1-2-3 first inning. So the Yankees go down in order, and we're going to go to the second. Adam Jones caught it, and he'll lead off. The last time the Orioles and Yankees met this late in the season with one team in first place and the other no more than 3 games behind was back in September of 1996. The Yankees had a 3-game lead that time. And those are the standings right now.
Well, the last time the Orioles actually had a winning season was 1997. It's been 14 years. And Buck Showalter, Michael, I think we were talking before the game. He's done a heck of a job here. As you said, his second full season with the Orioles, and he has changed the culture of the team. 14 seasons in a row of losing baseball, and the fan base has been somewhat exhilarated by the fact that the Orioles are playing this well. It looks like the Pirates might stop their streak this year, too.
Good stuff for baseball. Here's Adam Jones against Kuroda. Swing and a miss. Yankees have won 9 of Kuroda's last 12 starts, and his ERA during that time 2.39. Foul back, and something he's learned to do, and it's important because you pitch half your games here. He has really learned to dominate this ballpark. A right-handed pitcher in this ballpark, and in his last 5 starts at the stadium, Kenny, he's 3-1 with a 0.94 ERA.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think because he does a good job of keeping both his slider and splitter down, and he's done it basically for most of the season. You know, when he misses low, and what he does with his fastball, he'll elevate it on purpose just above the strike zone, try and get a check swing, third strike, or a hitter to swing through it. That might be a good pitch about right now. Nope, goes with the slider again.
2-2.
He elevates his fastball with a purpose, not necessarily a throwing a strike, but just above the zone. It's very tough after everything's been down to hit.
Line drive past a diving swisher into right field. (1997) these two teams battled as well. And let's go back to 1997, the year that was. A U.S. stamp was 32 cents. Gallon of gas, oh, those are the good old days. 132.
My goodness, let's go for a ride.
Loaf of bread, 117. Let's have a sandwich. #1 box office movie was Titanic. Candle in the Wind was the #1 song. #1 TV show was ER. The Packers won the Super Bowl, and the Marlins won the World Series. And that was the last year that the Orioles had a playoff berth. Amazing.
The Marlins beat the Cleveland Indians in that World Series. 7-gamer.
Line drive, base hit for Wieters. Going to third is Jones. The throw is cut off. First and third, and nobody out.
Wieters now with a 5-game hitting streak. As he lines his pitch into right field, you can see this one's up. That's not the desired effect as Wieters hammers it over the head of Jones and on into right field. And Jones took a quick glance at Ichiro and decides to challenge him and gets the third easily as the throw is cut off. So Wieters, who got the day off yesterday, comes back with a bang.
Here's Chris Davis. 23 home runs for Davis, 64 runs batted in. Some of those Yankee-Oriole tilts in 96 and 97, those two teams just went at each other. Davey Johnson was the manager, and they had such a good team, and you almost thought that that was going to go on for a long time. The Yankees continued their dominance and have, but the Orioles just dropped off.
I think in those days, Michael, if I'm not mistaken, the Orioles had the highest payroll in baseball, and they brought in players like Bobby Bonilla, Roberto Alomar. They had Rafael Palmeiro, of course, Cal Ripken.
Popped up left field. Long run for Ibanez. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Jones. Here he comes. And he will score. So a sac fly for Davis. Moving to second as Wieters heads up base running on his part. And Baltimore leads 1-0.
Here's Ibanez stepping into the throw. Now, Jones has excellent speed. You can see Chavez faking the cutoff, trying to hold Wieters at first. Wieters didn't fall for the okie-doke and moves down to second in the scoring position. So he's going to tag, and if the throw goes through, he's going to keep on going, and it does, and he moves into scoring position. Good base running on both part of Jones and Wieters.
Surprised they let that throw through. It really wasn't a close play.
I think you got to realize who's running. Jones has good speed, and it was going to be a bang play, and you might have been able to get Wieters at second, or at least in a rundown.
There's Reynolds. Count 1-0. Used to be more of a home run hitter. It was just 12 home runs and 42 runs batted in.
There are more options for Buck Showalter this year, and every once in a while when Reynolds gets really cold, he finds himself on the bench. That's why he only has 12 homers. He had 37 last year, among the league leaders.
But with those 37 came a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, that's true.
One 1-0 Orioles lead. High fly ball down the left field line. Ibanez there looking up. See ya. Long home run into the second deck for Mark Reynolds. And the Orioles lead 3-0.
Well, that was hit. It had the sound. It looked like it was a high fastball. Reynolds' 13th home run of the year. And lately he's been swinging the bat a lot better. Makes him 20 for his last 65. And Ibanez gets the last look at this one as Baltimore jumps out in front 3-0.
That was as high as it was far.
He's got some power, no doubt about it.
Quintanilla takes a strike. Omar hitless in his last 19 at-bats. Started the season with the Mets. Put up decent numbers with the O's.
He's been primarily a defensive presence at second base, particularly lately, as you said, Michael, for his last 19, but played some solid defense for Baltimore.
Count 1-2. So a single by Jones, a single by Wieters moves Jones to third. A sac fly by Davis made it 1-0. Then Mark Reynolds a 2-run home run off Kuroda. It's 3-0 Orioles. The 1-2. Grounded foul.
I mentioned earlier that Brian Roberts would come back from an injury earlier, then got injured again, and he's had labrum surgery on his hip. So then Dan Duquette, the GM of the Orioles, went out and got Quintanilla to play second base.
Pitches inside, 2-2.
And Quintanilla has shared time at second base with players like Ryan Flaherty, Robert Andino. So it's been kind of an open position.
2-2. Strike three, inside corner. Quintanilla down looking. He's now 0 for his last 20.
That's the spillover fastball from Kuroda. Left-handed hitters give up on it. It has movement right back over the inside corner. He struck out McLeod that way to end the first inning.
Machado pops one up right near the plate. Martin is there. He makes the play, and that will do it. But the Orioles scored 3 runs against Kuroda. 2 on this one swing by Mark Reynolds. A high drive into the second deck. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and Granderson will lead it off. Let's put up the most surprising numbers this year. Here are the choices. Is it number 1, Jim Johnson with 41 saves. Number 2, Adam Jones with 26 home runs. And number 3, Wei-Yin Chen, who's starting tomorrow with 12 wins. You can text your vote to 42951, and standard text messaging rates certainly apply.
And Johnson's only a few saves away from the team record. Jones has a career high 26 home runs. He hit his 100th major league home run against the White Sox in that recent homestand. And well, Chen's kind of come out of nowhere. They signed him out of the Japanese league, and in his rookie season he's won 12 games.
Here's Granderson. 1-0. Curtis, 2 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Yankees need him to heat up, especially without Rodriguez and Teixeira in the lineup. And good news on Rodriguez, he's DHing tonight in Tampa. And who knows, maybe he joins the team sometime next week, maybe in Tampa, if 3 games is enough.
Well, he won't have to go very far.
No, not at all. Not across the causeway. Tampa plays in Tampa, and Tampa Bay plays in St. Pete. The 2-1. High fly ball. Right center. Jones is there for the first out.
Yeah, you can see the infield is pointing towards the ball when it's hit. It's that time of night, Michael, where the ball, when it's hit high in the air, kind of blends in with the sky itself. The lights haven't really taken full effect. And every once in a while, at the proper time of night, if the ball's hit in the air, the outfielders cannot find it. You can see the second baseman Keith Dania and the shortstop Hardy pointing it out to Jones, who seem to have no problem.
Here's Chavez. There's a strike. Chavez had a very interesting comment in the paper today, and I thought he made a lot of sense. He said, I think what people are now seeing is how valuable a player Alex Rodriguez is for this team, what he does to the lineup and lengthens it, and the damage that he can do. He says, because now without Alex and without Mark Teixeira, he said, what I did before was gravy. He said, now it's a necessity. He said, so it kind of shortens the lineup then, because now I've got to almost do what they did or come close to it, and then there's nobody doing what I did. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but it does show you how important A-Rod is to this team.
With those 2 guys in there at either corner, Chavez is usually on the bench, and he could come off and do some damage late in ball games. Right now he's in the games, and you're hoping that he gets something done in 4 at-bats rather than 1.
And Kenny, there's such a spillover effect. Take a look at this lineup against righties. Now, if either Alex or Teixeira were healthy, well, your DH wouldn't be Jason Nix batting ninth.
No.
It would be Chavez. They don't have enough lefty batters for one of them to be a DH against a righty pitcher. And Chavez is down looking.
Well, so far, Gonzalez is looking more rested than rusted, as he's making some pretty good pitches. Remember, we said he hasn't pitched since August the 20th, but here he hits the outside corner for call strike 3.
With A-Rod on the DL this year, 17 and 16. In the past, they've done okay. The past 2 years, 2011, they were 12 games over. In 2010, 8 games over.
The thing about it, when A-Rod was injured, Michael, in Seattle, he was on a 6-game hitting streak. He was starting to hit the ball hard. The night before, he hit a 440-foot home run in Seattle.
And he has said that that's what's the most disappointing, because he really felt it was starting to come around when he got hurt. But he is rehabbing, and it could be soon. He's not going to play in this series, but on the Yankee road trip, could be. Ibanez pops that one up. Wieters will make the play, and the Yankees again go down in order 1-2-3 against Gonzalez. We're going to go to the third. It'll be the top of the Orioles order. They lead 3-0. Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. 6 up, 6 down for the Yankees. And on the Lincoln scoreboard, the Orioles lead 3-0 as we go to the third. It'll be Markakis, Hardy, and McLouth against Kuroda.
We talked about Markakis leading off for the last 46 games. He had never led off before in his career. And there are people thinking that this is going to be the permanent move for the Orioles. Markakis leading off.
There's so many stats that you look at regarding the Orioles, they don't make sense. Why the Orioles would be at this position and within striking distance of first place when they have a minus 44 run differential. That doesn't happen. And have a winning record. Right back to Kuroda. In fact, they have a greater run differential than the Mets. The Mets are minus 38, and the Mets are in danger of going into last place in the National League East. So that being said, why are they like this? And I had a chance to talk to Bobby Valentine today, the Red Sox manager, and he didn't mean this in a negative way, Kenny. He said, luck. He said baseball gods sometimes smile on you. He said they have to have a lot of luck to have that differential on a winning record.
Well, they've won 24 games by 1 run. They've only lost 6. And I think what 1-run victories do for a club, they give you a lot of confidence in tight ball games. Somehow you'll find out a way to win it. I recall years ago playing for Earl Weaver, he used to say this, Mike, keep it close and I'll think of something.
Right.
And he usually did. I think Buck Showalter's trying to channel the inner Earl Weaver.
You know, the 24-6 that you mentioned in the scattering report.
That's amazing.
Here's how amazing it is. It's an .800 winning percentage. The all-time record for a full season, for one-run wins, ground ball to short by Hardy, is 733. So the Orioles are 800. And you know when 733 was set? The 1908 Pirates.
Didn't help the Pirates. That was the year the Cubs won the World Series.
Yankees have struggled in one-run games this year, 16-19.
See, when the Orioles lose games, they have a tendency to be blown out. And that's why they what'd you say, minus 45?
Right.
Yeah, that's
no, minus 44.
Minus whatever. They're getting blown out of games when they lose.
Sounds like a broken background ball. Cano is there, and he gets McLeod and a nice bounce back inning for Hiroki Kuroda. 3 ground balls, and the Orioles are down 1-2-3 on just 8 pitches. Bottom third of the Yankee order coming up. They trail 3-0. Sunday, September 2nd, the first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees barbecue apron courtesy of Stop and Shop. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. I've heard you're a good griller.
I'm a thriller by the griller.
Look at that. This is his Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner's here.
Dancing with Wolves, Bull Durham.
Waterworld. Tin Cup.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Love the game. Grounded foul. Lincoln scoreboard, it's 3-0 Orioles. Count 1-1.
Thinking back to that game when Gonzalez beat the Yankees on the 30th, he did very well changing speeds, gave up 6 hits and 6 2/3. Didn't walk a batter. Go along with 8 strikeouts.
Oh, what a play by Mark Reynolds to take a base hit away from Martin. If it could go wrong for Martin this year offensively, it does. That was ticketed to right field.
It's been that type of year. He's now 11 for his last 61, and there's the dive by Mark Reynolds. Well, the Orioles have moved off of third base across the dime in the first, and this is more like a play you would see out of a third baseman. Trying to spoil a double down the third baseline. He lays out. The only thing missing is a cape on this play. He was airborne.
Here's Ichiro. Foul back. Check out this play on the Coors Light freeze cam. Even in the freeze cam, it looks unbelievable.
Wow.
He's in the air. He's flying. Nothing lands. There's one out. There's a strike. 0-2.
Gonzalez has used his changeup well so far. Not many breaking balls, but fastball, changeup, occasional curve. And when you're having a year that Martin's had as far as batting average is concerned, you kind of wonder sometimes.
Strike three. Ichiro down looking. Did not like that call by the home plate umpire, Dan Bellino.
It seems like anything, and that goes for Kuroda as well, anything on the inner half tonight is going to be called a strike. And this one, I believe, had the plate. We get a better look at it, the overhead shot. Oh, man, it's close. Maybe a seam of the ball crossed home plate, just a hint of it. But that's all you need.
Got to bring up Jason Nix. And a strike. Popped up. And that'll do it as the Yankees go down in order again. This time a 9-pitch inning. 9 up, 9 down, and 3. We go to the fourth. It's 3-0 O's. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Who are the 4 Yankees since 1950 who won the MVP award but are not in the Hall of Fame? And this does not include Alex. So who are the 4 Yankees since 50 who won the American League MVP award but are not in the Hall of Fame? I got 1.
I got 2, I believe.
You got 2, okay.
Yeah.
She's wearing a heart on the proverbial sleeve. 3-0. Orioles lead as we go to the 4th inning. Here's Adam Jones against Kuroda. 1-0.
Jones made the All-Star team this year. He leads Baltimore in home runs with 26. We mentioned it was a career high. And with Jones, Markakis, and now McLeod in the outfield, they have a very strong defensive outfield. Each one of those players has won a Gold Glove at one time or another. And one thing that's picked up for the Orioles in the second half of the season is their defensive abilities. At the beginning of the season, they were leading the league in errors. They still might be, but they're playing much better defense lately. And a lot of it has to do by calling up the rookie Manny Machado and placing him at third base.
High fly ball. Shallow center. One away.
The Orioles, primarily because of what they did earlier in the season, have 96 errors as a team, and they lead the league. But I think since the All-Star break, they've had the fewest errors in the league, or among the least.
I asked Showalter today, how do you know that this young team, without much experience, is going to come into this ballpark in front of 45,000 plus and be able to compete in a high leverage game? He said, we'll see. He said, you don't know. He said, it's always a test. We'll see. He said, but I don't think they're scared or intimidated. He says they're looking forward to it. They know what's at stake. He said they're just going to go out and have fun.
Yeah, well, it's uncharted waters for a lot of these players. And one thing that they are not shy in doing, they've played 130 games. They've made 150 roster moves. It's just like more than a player a day is shipped out or somebody comes in.
We had a pitcher yesterday that pitched a great game and got sent down afterward.
Yeah. Career high strikeouts for Zach Britton, 10 with no walks, and got sent to the minors.
And they put Randy Wolf on the roster, so he's an extra lefty in the bullpen. But Britton will be back to make his next start Tuesday. So it really was just a clerical maneuver. The rosters expand tomorrow. 2-2. And Kenny mentioned Manny Machado. The Orioles have one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, Dylan Bundy. He's actually featured in a cover story by Tom Verducci in SI a couple weeks ago. But Showalter said on Wednesday, he said he's not coming up. There was some thought that he was going to come up and pitch down the stretch, but they're going to send him to the instruction league, so they will not use him. The 2-2. Tapped slowly back to the mound. Off quickly is Kuroda to get the second out.
Yeah, the feeling on Bundy, his fastball is major league ready. His secondary pitchers are not. So while he's overpowering minor league hitters, you can't. It's tougher to overpower major league hitters.
I think that's Randy Wolf.
That's
the
him.
Bullpen.
Yeah. Veteran left-hander.
And the Orioles were kind of shocked, and baseball was kind of shocked because several teams wanted him. I don't think the Orioles have heard this in 15 years, and he said he picked the Orioles because he wants a chance to win. The 1-0. 1-1. Some of the recent acquisitions for the O's. Joe Saunders was acquired from the Diamondbacks. We told you about McLeod and Quintanilla, now Wolf.
Dan Duquette, the GM, has been busy in his first year of running the front office.
He's got all those moves stored up. He's been out of baseball for about a decade.
I'm going to make my presence known.
The 2-1. And a strike.
Well, once again, that movement on the two-seam fastball by Kuroda picks up a call strike on the inside corner to a left-hander. What's it? Spillover. There it is for a strike.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Kuroda, after the home run by Reynolds, has retired 8 in a row. We're going to the bottom of the fourth and the top of the Yankee order as they look for their first hit. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer, and by Cheeseburger, the most creative and fun restaurant on earth. Visit cheeseburger.com. Friday night here in New York City. Orioles lead the Yankees 3-0, first game of a 3-game Labor Day weekend set. Yankees looking for their first base runner as they go to the fourth inning. It'll be Jeter, Swisher, and Cano. Fouled away. Jeter 21 for 49 this year against Baltimore. That's good for 428.
Hey, he's had more hits against Baltimore pitching than any active player. Of course, they meet each other 18, 19 times a year.
331 career hits against the O's. Wow. Tonight, the Yankees start a stretch of 16 games where 13 of them are either against the Orioles or the Tampa Bay Rays, and the other 3 are against the Red Sox. There's Andy Pettitte. Good news on Andy today, as he actually threw off a mound. And everything went well through about 20 pitches. And there's still an avenue for him to get 2 or 3 starts before the season ends. Can't have any setbacks, though.
No.
Line drive left field. It's a base hit for Jeter. So the Yankees get their first hit, their first base runner.
And yes, we do have visual proof that Andy Pettitte threw well off the mound in the bullpen. And that is an inspiring look. And Andy looks fine to me. And there's Stevie Donahue, the trainer, standing out there with him, and looked like Andy gave him a fist pump as to say everything's going well. Making progress. A couple of very strong left-handers sitting next to each other in the dugout.
Here's Nick Swisher. Jeter leads off first. 177 hits for Jeter as Swisher swings over the change.
Got 15 more hits than he had all last season. Of course, he spent quite a bit of time on the disabled list. 6 home runs in this month for Jeter.
And there's a strike.
Gonzalez mixing his pitches. And a lot of that has to do with the catcher. Matt Wieters, who's really taken over this club. He's an all-star catcher. Second year in a row he's made the all-star team, but started with a changeup, came back with a fastball. And now the count is 0-2. Wieters about 6'5". Big, tall, rangy catcher. Good throwing arm.
The 0-2. 1-2.
Here is John Russell, bench coach. He was giving some signs to Matt Wieters. Russell was a catcher during his playing days with the Philadelphia Phillies. Backed up Darren Dalton.
It's not a ball, Joe. It's not a ball. No.
You heard plate umpire Dan Bellino yell over to Joe Girardi that is not a balk. And I think Joe is talking about the fact that maybe Gonzalez does not pause long enough on the mound before he delivers the ball to the plate. You have to have a discernible stop on the mound. And if you just go right through, it's, you know, like you have those rolling stops when you're driving about 2 o'clock in the morning.
You better hope there's no cops there.
Well, that's what I mean. Or an umpire.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Swisher strikes out twice against Gonzalez. It's time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Who are the 4 Yankees since 1950 who won the American League MVP award but are not in the Hall of Fame? So Roger Maris is one.
Elston Howard's another.
Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
And Thurman.
Thurman Munson. How could I forget Thurman? That was on my watch.
That'll bring up Robinson Cano. Looking for a 2-run home run there and the count 0-1.
Yeah, Cano was out here earlier today working with Kevin Long on the slip drill, the screen drill. And what that does is try and quicken up his hands. Cano just 2 home runs shy of his career high, which he set last year.
Cano also has 23 home runs against Baltimore in his career. That's the most he has against any team. Foul away.
He would have had one his first time up tonight. He was out in front of a changeup, and it was all arms. He didn't get much of his body into it because he was out in front. He almost looked like he hit the ball in one hand and went to deep center field. If he had pulled it, he would have had another hole.
Swing and a miss. Cano strikes out for the second out.
The effect of the changeup on the high fastball. Talked about Kuroda getting the desired effect on a high heater. After off-speed pitches and Cano swings through it, cannot get on top of the high heat. The Yankees have yet to figure out this guy. They're about a start and a half.
There's Granderson. Had a breaking ball strike, count 0-1. 33 home runs for Granderson. He's the only American League outfielder, Kenny, to have at least 30 home runs in 2011 and 2012. But his average is dropping. He's at 235. High fly ball shallow center field and left center. Adam Jones makes the play, so the leadoff single by Jeter is wasted. 4 shutout innings for Gonzalez. We go to the 5th. Mark Reynolds will lead off. of late? Well, since 2009, Turkey Hill has been the official ice cream of the New York Yankees, and they have Yankee-inspired flavors. They have Bronx Bomber Sundae, which is premium chocolate ice cream with chocolate cookie swirl and chocolate-covered crunchies. That's what Kenny's has right there. Pinstripe Brownie Blast, premium vanilla ice cream with brownie batter swirl and brownie pieces. Pretty nice. Mark Reynolds swings and misses, and they actually have brought some up to the booth for us for some in-game
snacks here.
Yeah.
How's it taste?
It's good.
Yeah.
Very good. The 0-1. Tapped slowly in front of the mound. Kuroda gets Reynolds. One away.
Sometimes when you hit a ball like that after hitting a home run, you come back to the bench and one of your teammates will sit down next to you. Same guy hit both of those shots, huh?
Cadillac scoreboard 3-0 O's. Here's Omar Quintanilla. Grounded to first. Right there is Swisher. 2 outs.
Kuroda seems to have settled down since the second inning, but if you remember his last start, that was in Cleveland, and I believe it was a 3-run inning.
3-run first inning and lost 3-1.
Yeah, didn't get anything in the way of run support.
Pitched a complete game, but just 8 innings because there was no bottom of the ninth. And here's Manny Machado. 20 years old. He's a shortstop, but over the past 2 months before they called him up, they were working him out at third. Third overall pick in 2010. Kind of a protege of Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, working him out at third because J.J. Hardy has signed a 3-year deal.
He signed through 2014.
And Hardy said, well, how old's Machado, 20? Hardy's 30. So he said eventually he can have the position, but not right now. And Machado has said, yeah, I'm a shortstop, but I'll play anywhere to play in the big leagues.
He works out with A-Rod during the winter in Miami. There's a strike, and he is down looking. Starting to struggle, the kid is. He's 3 for his last 22. And how about Kuroda? He's retired the last 11 in a row. We're halfway through. That was a 6-pitch inning.
By K, brought to you by Mazda. We're going to feature Miguel Gonzalez, who tonight has struck out 5 Yankees And he's done a good job with changeups and fastballs, picking up his strikeouts tonight, spotting the fastball well, elevating at times to give Robinson Cano. His career high is 8 strikeouts, and that was against the Yankees on July 30th, right here at Yankee Stadium. He's got 5 so far tonight through 4 innings.
Here's Eric Chavez. Swing and a miss. Cadillac scoreboard 3-0 O's. You know, he's not throwing 95, 96, but he has him a little off balance. The changeup makes his 92, 93 seem a little bit faster. Maybe second time around, Yankees feel more comfortable as Chavez fouls it away quickly. 0-2. Chavez, one of those strikeouts. He struck out looking in the second. Great August for Chavez, hitting .367, 4 homers and 10 ribbies in 21 games. .32 strikes, 13 balls, 45 pitches. Swing and a miss, changeup.
See how he set up the changeup by throwing a high fastball out of the zone just to put a fastball in the eyes of Chavez for the speed look. Wasn't supposed to be a strike. Then he comes back with a changeup and he sells it well, makes it look like the fastball out of the hands, more in the strike zone, but then it drops off at the end. Kind of a splitter. You can see the grip. This is on Yesmo. Looks very inviting on Yesmo. It's a lot tougher than that. 6 strikeouts now.
Ibanez hits a high fly ball to right field. Long run for Markakis, but that's going to make the seats. Now, Ibanez was so important for the Yankees early in the season, but really he started to slow down a bit. Don't know if he's fatigued, but he's just 2 for his last 26, and the average down to 238. He's gotten some big hits for them, but not lately.
Yeah, I think in the absence of Brett Gardner for just about the whole season, Ibanez has spent more time in the outfield than I think even the Yankees were looking at during the course of this year.
Shift is on. They have 3 infielders on the right side for the lefty swinging Ibanez. Count 1 and 2. Just missed inside. That one's grounded to first. Reynolds takes it himself. 2 outs.
Another good changeup from Gonzalez. And Ibanez out in front.
So with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Russell Martin, who was robbed of a hit on just a great play by Reynolds. Full body dive to the backhand side, airborne, and hauled it in. Would have been a single, obviously, for Martin. Breaking ball strike.
Gonzalez getting all 3 of his pitches over. That was a breaking ball to start off Martin.
Count 0-2.
Doesn't seem to back any pitches. Breaking ball, fastball. This might be a fastball. He's going to waste it. Let's see what he does here. Breaking ball, wasted.
He's been economical, just 9 pitches in the first, 8 in the third. No big time, big pitch inning. Could he hold up? No, he did not. So a strikeout of Martin. 7 strikeouts for Gonzalez. We've played 5 innings here in the Bronx. Orioles 3, Yankees nothing. Top of the order coming up for the O's. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Now, Kenny, that is the second full moon that we've had in the month of August, which is really rare.
What's it called?
It's called a blue moon, and that's where the saying "once in a blue moon" comes from.
Wasn't there a song, Blue Moon?
Yes.
Yes, there was.
So that is a blue moon tonight.
I thought it was the start of a Honeymooners episode.
Or that.
Yeah. Doesn't it look like a big cantaloupe?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to the 6th inning. And Nick Markakis will lead off.
I was talking to Markakis before the game. Now, he missed some time. He was on the DL with the hamate bone surgery. And over the winter, he had an abdominal muscle reattached that he had a problem with during the winter. And he says the hamate bone surgery was tougher.
Cano stays with it and just gets Markakis.
Couple of things working there. Cano bobbles it. Markakis didn't come out of the box the way he should have. He overruns it, takes a look, still has time, and he also has a strong arm, and he gets him by a step. Off the heel of the glove, doesn't give up on the play, takes a look, have time, makes the throw, and gets him. Markakis tried to speed up at the end. Now watch. He thinks he's out. Uh-oh. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen tonight, but didn't the other day Charlie Manuel take out Jimmy Rollins?
I think he had a long talk with him.
He had a long talk. Well, what happened was there was a pop-up, and Rollins halfway ran to first. It was dropped, and he was safe at first, but he should have been at second. And then I think he had another miscue on the bases, and then Charlie Manuel took him out of the game.
That one is driven deep to left field. Ibanez back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya. Home run for J.J. Hardy. It's 4-0 O's. Throw that ball back, but the run still counts.
I think this was a slider that kind of hung, and Hardy, with 30 home runs last year, career high. Yeah, that was right there. He is a good high ball hitter, and he takes care of this one, puts it in the bleachers, in the seats in left field. His 18th home run of the year.
Here's Nate McClouth. 0-1.
Watch the reaction of Kuroda. He knows he made a mistake, and he knows he's not getting that one back. The guy's done a pretty good job keeping the ball down. A couple of pitches that were up went out of the ballpark tonight. 2-run homer for Reynolds, and now the solo shot for Hardy.
Ground ball to second. 2 outs.
We talked about the run differential for the Orioles, and when they lose, they get blown out, but they can hit home runs. It's one thing they do. They're up there among the league leaders in homers. Think Buck has a chance for manager of the year?
I think it's between Buck, Robin Ventura, and Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin of the A's.
That one is chopped to first. Swisher is there, and he will beat Jones to the bag for the final out. But the Orioles tag on a run, the J.J. Hardy home run, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 4-0 O's. Pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Yankees changed it up a little bit. We knew that the Orioles were going to start Wei Yin Chen, 12-7, 3.78. David Phelps is going to start Sunday. Now he's moved to Saturday. And Freddie Garcia was going to start on Saturday. Has been moved to Tuesday against Tampa Bay. And now Sunday it's going to be Phil Hughes. So they were able to maneuver because of the off day yesterday. So we'll start tomorrow at 12:30. 12 o'clock, the BP show we have tomorrow, so that's great. 12:30 is the pregame, and 1:07 will be first pitch, so be here with us. Here's Ichiro leading off. Pitch is high, 1-0. Line drive, right field, it's a base hit.
Only the second hit for the Yankees, and Gonzalez has done a good job of mixing pitches, throwing strikes. He has not had a 3-ball count all night long, but Ichiro bloops one in the right field. And the Yankees, for the second time tonight, have the leadoff man on. Jeter had a leadoff single in the fourth.
There are only 2 base runners. Here's Jason Nix. Flied out to right in the third inning. He's a number 9 batter in the DH tonight. Yankees will get an opportunity to call up some players from AAA as early as tomorrow. Every team has an opportunity to go to 40 men if they'd like. Sure, the Yankees will bring up another catcher, probably Francisco Cervelli. That one gets away from Wieters. All the way to the backstop, and Ichiro will move to second.
Yeah, it should be a wild pitch on the pitch in the dirt that Wieters could not stop. It eludes him and allows Ichiro to move down to second base. Yep, in the dirt, skips off the heel of the glove. It is a wild pitch. Speaking of the Yankees, AAA, Scranton Wilkes-Barre Ball Club. How about the job that Dave Miley did this year? They finished in first place. They were a ball club without a home because their ballpark in Scranton Wilkes-Barre is being refurbished. So they played all of their games on the road and still won the division. Great job.
It really was, Kenny. It's difficult to play road games on half the time and going home, and they were never home.
Stayed in hotels all season long. And won the division.
And in Trenton, Tony Franklin won the Eastern League Manager of the Year. So the AA and AAA teams for the Yankees did well. And the Yankees actually extended their deal with Trenton through 2022.
I think that's Riverfront Park, if I'm not mistaken, down in Trenton. Make it waterfront. I know there's a river that's near there.
With water in it.
With water in it, yeah. Yeah, it's the Delaware River.
3-1. Foul back.
Just a few miles from there, George Washington crossed the Delaware. Remember that, Michael? From your history books?
I remember reading about it.
Yeah. Is that when he was standing in the boat?
That's what I hear, yeah.
That is not proper boat etiquette, though. Yeah.
That's a big walk for Nix. As the Yankees now have 2 runners on for the first time. So now this crowd finally has a reason to get excited. Down 4-0, but now threatening in the bottom of the 6th. And Wieters goes out to talk with Gonzalez as Jeter is ready in the right-handed batter's box. Derek is 1 for 2. He grounded to short and then singled to left. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. And there's a strike.
Derek didn't agree with that call from home plate umpire Dan Bellino. One of the rare times you see him say something to an umpire. But he said it while he was walking away, and you know what? That looked a little low.
Pitch on the outside corner, 0-2.
I had the corner.
Missed inside, 1-2. Yankees have not been a great team hitting with runners in scoring position this year, but Jeter, well, no fault of his, he's .316 in these situations. 66 pitches for Gonzalez. Two and two. And since July 25th, it's .462. Wow. Two. Still 2-2.
Stadium beginning to come alive a bit. You hear the rhythmic applause. First time the Yankees have had two men on in an inning.
Three and two.
Remember, the count was no balls and 2 strikes. Jeter has eyeballed his way to 3-2 now.
Ichiro at second. Nix is at first. They don't go. And it's fouled away.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit more defensive on the bases when you're down 4-0. Even with the speed of Ichiro at second base.
Jeter really battling.
And in the process, he's made Gonzalez work harder maybe than he's had to work all night long with 2 men on and nobody out.
This will be the 10th pitch. Grounded to third. Goes the second one. On to first. Not in time. So Jeter beats the return, which also might have pulled Reynolds off the bag, and the Yankees now have runners on the corners.
Yeah, the reason why this happened because Machado's throw was not on the money. You see Keith Lanita has to reach behind him and then throw all the way across his body to try to make the accurate throw. I believe even if the throw was on the money at first, Jeter would have beaten the relay. You can see had some problems at second, and that's the difference. Yeah, Jeter was across the bag. So it's first and third and 1 out. Remember, Machado, although he's worked at third base, he's been primarily a shortstop in his career, his brief career in the minor leagues.
There's Nick Swisher. He struck out twice against Gonzalez.
Nick has been kind of in between all night, late on the fastball and early on the changeup.
Oh, 2.
Nick has cooled off a little bit lately. He still has 21 runs batted in his last 21 games. So he's been pretty good in these situations. But right now he's deep in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
First and third, 1 man out. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Yankees trying to get on the scoreboard. They're trailing 4-0. 1-2. High. 2-2.
That was pitching coach Rick Adair moving around in the dugout.
Well, they're at least making Gonzalez work this inning.
More so than any other inning.
Two pitches out of 77 came this inning so far.
Yeah, the Yankees are going to have to make their move pretty soon. And remember, we told you about their 2 shutdown relievers at the end of the game. Pedro Strop and Jim Johnson. They're a solid tandem in the 8th and 9th inning.
Two. Swing and a miss. Nick is not seeing the ball out of Gonzalez's hands. He has struck out 3 times tonight.
His strikeout ties a career high, which was set against the Yankees, a changeup. We told you Nick has been late on the fastball, early on the change, and this looks like the fastball. Gonzalez does a good job of selling it, but you can see that Nick Swisher well out in front and strikes out for the 3rd time swinging. Well, Gonzalez is not out of the woods yet.
Ichiro is at third and Jeter's at first. Cano at the plate, 0 for 2. Cano flied out to deep center and struck out. And that one's popped up. Machado in foul territory. Makes the play, and the Yankees have runners on first and second and nobody out, and they cannot push across a run. No runs to hit, 2 men left. We're going to the 7th, 4-0 O's. Tonight's Toyota text poll. Here's the question we asked you. Which Oriole has put up the most surprising numbers this year? Here's how you voted. 59% say 41 saves by Jim Johnson win. Then 22% say it's Jones, and then Wei-Yin Chen, 19.
You know, at the beginning of the year, they were thinking about making Jim Johnson a starting pitcher because he has the arsenal to do so. He's got 4 solid pitchers. But because he had pitched so well last year as the closer, they stayed with him.
Cadillac scoreboard, 4-0 O's. Matt Wieters will lead off against Kuroda. One thing that Kuroda has fallen victim to, and he had it happen to him with the Dodgers as well. For some reason, when he pitches, the team doesn't score. I mean, you look at his ERA, 2.98. He shouldn't be 12-9. When you have an under 3 ERA in the American League, you should have a lot more wins than that.
Yep.
But he does not have the benefit of the run counter when he's out there.
That was the tail of his last start in Cleveland.
Also, the way the Yankees aren't hitting right now, you're putting more pressure on the starters to be perfect.
Yeah.
Another game battling for first place is in the Central. The Tigers lead the White Sox 4-3. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning in Detroit. And Toronto leads Tampa Bay 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th.
Detroit started tonight 3 games behind the White Sox in the Central.
And the White Sox just lost 3 out of 4 to the Red Sox, and they had won 6 straight coming, 3 out of 4 to the Orioles, and they had actually won 6 in a row coming into that series. Wieters with a fly ball to center. So he's 1 for 3, first out of the 7th.
The Yankees started the night 6-5 against the Orioles in the division. But the Orioles came in the hotter team. They've won 17 games this month. That's their most wins in any month this season.
And they've also won 4 out of 5 here in the Bronx.
Yeah, that's it's almost as if they're treating this as Camden Yards, and the Yankees are treating Camden Yards as Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have a 4-game series coming up against Buck Showalter and the Orioles after the Tampa Bay series.
Baltimore's also won 20 of its last 29.
Yeah, they've made a rush here.
Ground ball through for a base hit.
But it hasn't translated in the home attendance, though.
Well, they started this run really since July 18th, Kenny. The Yankees are 19-21 since that date. And they had a 10-game lead. The Orioles are 26-14. They're 8-0 in one-run games. Yankees are 3-10. The rest is self-explanatory. And the Orioles gained 7 games in the American League East standings. And also, you get the sense, Kenny, wounded fans don't come back that quickly.
Yeah.
And the Orioles just played that big 4-game set against the White Sox. And they were getting about 10,000 people a game at Camden Yards, which is still a beautiful ballpark. Yeah. How do you explain that?
I think the fans in the Baltimore area, there's only so much disposable income for families. And I think they have gone with the recent success of the Ravens against the, not much success for the Orioles over the past 14 years. And nowadays, people, they don't walk up. They buy tickets online. This is how you get your tickets. And those tickets for Ravens games were sold way back in July and maybe June, thinking maybe the Orioles weren't going to get to this point, if you understand what I mean.
So you think they use a disposable income on the football?
On the football. That has something to do with it. Plus, there's another team in the area that's been good all season long, the Nationals. And I'm sure that has siphoned away a few fans. You know, the fans who live south of Baltimore in cities like Columbia and Bowie and Laurel, Maryland. Nationals are winning again tonight, 6-0. Those are the cities about halfway between Baltimore and Washington. Now they got a chance to drive south instead of going north to see ball games and see players like Steven Strasburg. When he pitches, they usually get a pretty good crowd. Although that's coming to an end pretty soon too, which is another story.
2-1. Fly ball center field. Reynolds retired.
So to get back to your point about the 14 years of losing, I think it's going to take more than just this 1 year to build back the trust in the fans. Although I think Buck Showalter's done a great job of changing the culture. He has a culture. He has his team believing they can win. When you win one-run games, it really gives you a belief that in a tight one somewhere you're going to figure it out.
It's going to be very interesting to see. Now we have to wait to see what happens this weekend. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week, the Yankees are in Baltimore. Now the Yankees have always drawn there. I would think they've got to get big crowds for that.
Well, first of all, a lot of New Yorkers drive there.
Right. First, runner on first with 2 outs as Quintanilla takes outside 1-0.
I would suspect there would be some very good crowds for that 4-game series.
Yankees have just 2 hits in this game. One by Jeter and one by Ichiro. Both singles.
So it appears that Miguel Gonzalez is rested. Hadn't pitched since August the 20th.
Davis dived back without a throw. Hot shot, grabbed by Jeter. He flips to Cano for the final out. Nice play by Derek Jeter on the full body dive to the glove side. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. The captain snares it and flips to Cano. So at the end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch, Orioles lead the Yankees 4-0, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the ocean
Again, Tampa Bay is having trouble scoring. We'll hear from Nancy and Jack and Meredith in the postgame. The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 4-6-0 leading 0-2-0. Mark Reynolds a 2-run home run made a 1-0 game a 3-0 game. Hardy a solo home run that made it a 4-0 game. And the Yankees have just 2 hits, 2 singles. They will do very little against Mark Gonzalez. Miguel Gonzalez. Mark Reynolds hit the home run.
Meanwhile, is Encarnacion having a great year or what?
It's amazing. Cadillac scoreboard 4-0, and without Bautista, there's not much protection in the lineup. Here's Curtis Granderson, who is 0 for 2 tonight. 2 for his last 23. And there's a strike. Without Teixeira and without A-Rod, Granderson and Cano and Swisher have to step up because the lineup is not as long. And when those guys get the opportunity, they've got to get the hits. And if you look up and down the Yankee lineup, who's really the guy that you can depend on right now? That's Derek Jeter. He's the leadoff batter.
Yeah, there are certain players, when they walk on the field out of the dugout, the other team knows right away we're going to have to deal with that guy tonight. Whether they get him out or not, before the game starts, there are presence on the field. They are presence on the field. And those guys are totally missing. Pitchers have to work that much harder to get them out.
Swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes.
Fans later tonight, comedian Tracy Morgan sits down with Michael Kay for a very real GMC Presents Center Stage. See a side of the Bronx native you've never seen before as the 30 Rock star opens up about his childhood and how SNL changed his life. It's Center Stage tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. Very funny man, Tracy Morgan. But
it's emotional in that show,
I was saying, you drew it out of him.
Yeah. He was very good. Watch it. Miguel Gonzalez with that strikeout, his 9th. That's a career high for him.
Done a very, very good job of mixing his pitches and hitting his spots. He and Mark Wieters have worked very well together tonight.
Chavez laces a base hit to right field. Markakis cuts it off and holds Chavez to a single. Yankees' 3rd single of the night.
Yeah, it looked like a splitter that stayed up a little bit. This one didn't quite have the movement. Stayed in the middle, and Chavez hooks it into right field for a base hit. He is 1 for 3 now tonight and 6 for his last 16.
Ibanez takes low, 1-0. Raul is 0 for 2 tonight. Strike on the inside corner. Well, they might continue to pitch Gonzalez on 10 days rest. He has responded well. Two.
That would lead you to believe he had more than one side session in between on those 10 days. It's Darren O'Day, a side-wielding right-hander in the bullpen.
High fly ball, right field. Markakis for the second out.
Meanwhile, the Yankees have not hit a home run since Monday when they hit 4 in the game. That's been their staple on the season, the power hitting. And they've been stuck on 199 since Monday as a team.
And coming into tonight, that was 29 ahead of their closest pursuer. And I believe that Toronto and Chicago were tied with 170. But we saw Encarnacion had one. Here's Russell Martin. He grounds that one through the right side for a base hit.
Now that base hit got Buck Showalter's attention. He gets up out of the seat where he's been practically stationary for the whole night. Now he's moving around, checking on the bullpen, and now he's going to send the pitching coach Rick Adair out to the mound to talk to Gonzalez. Here's Russell Martin finding the hole through the right side. Remember, he lined one over in that direction, was robbed of a hit by Reynolds earlier in the ball game. Martin has now hit 5 of his last 6 games, but the thing about the raising your average, you got to be multi-hit games, and there haven't been many of those for him.
Along with Kenny Singleton and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. Yankees are trailing the Orioles 4-0. And here's Ichiro. He has one of the Yankee 4 hits. All of the hits singles. Single by Jeter, single by Ichiro, single by Chavez, and a single by Martin. Foul ball. Almost a cricket swing.
Well, his style is certainly unique. It has worked for him during his time in the major leagues. But it's certainly a style you probably wouldn't teach anybody.
Well, we'll be joined by Lou Piniella in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He said he would never teach anybody to hit that. He said you couldn't. It's distinctive, and it works for him. The 0-1. Lofted to left field. And out of play, so the count is 0-2. Back on July 30th, Ichiro against Gonzalez. Play some yard ball. Yankees would like a little bit more of that right now. The 0-2. 1-2. Grounded to short. They get the force, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We're going to the 8th inning. Yankees are down by 4. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Yankees run out of time here in the Bronx. We're in the 8th inning right now, and they're down 4-0. So Kuroda has to keep it right here, and Kenny detailed on our open. The 8th and the 9th inning have been shut down innings for the Orioles in their bullpen with Strop and with Johnson. They're so good in the 8th and 9th innings, Kenny, that they are 56-0 when leading after the 7th inning. Gonzalez looks like he's probably done for the night. 7 shutout innings, 4 hit ball against the Yanks. A new career high, 9 strikeouts. These are the back end pitchers. Strop 1.86 ERA. And Johnson, a 2.93 with 41 out of 44 save opportunities. Machado with a base hit to left field off of Kuroda. No one up in the Yankee bullpen.
The rookie, Manny Machado, called up a few weeks ago. His first 4 major league games, he had 3 home runs. And right now he's still got 3. In fact, he hit 2 in one game, and the same guy caught him at Camden Yards. Same fan.
Here's Markakis. Well, there aren't that many fans to fight over. Machado got back.
Here's a look. Russell Martin firing a warning shot down to Nick Swisher.
Grounded foul.
I mentioned that earlier about Markakis and the hamate bone surgery. He's got a nice scar in the palm of the lower palm of his right hand on our HUD Day scoreboard. 4-0 Baltimore. Says he's not quite 100% yet, and that's why he chokes up on the bat.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Machado will stop at second as Ibanez gets the ball in.
Beginning to stir in the Yankee bullpen as Larry Rothschild comes out to give the reliever time to warm up.
Rapata. The way it breaks down for Kuroda, he hasn't had a 20 pitch inning, and his pitch count's in pretty good shape here in the 8th.
85. A solid 9. 8 pitch inning, a 7 pitch inning, a 9.
J.J. Hardy has a home run today. He's 1 for 3. The solo shot came in the 6th inning.
Right now he's looking down at third base coach DeMarlo Hale to see if there's anything on here. Will the Orioles choose to bunt? I didn't think so.
White Sox have tied up the Tigers 4-4 in the 6th inning. Toronto leads Tampa Bay 2-1, bottom of the 7th. And right here, the Orioles 4-0 over the Yanks. Top of the 8th.
Though Hardy leads the team in sacrifice bunts with 5.
Hardy has not been great to the Yankees this year. .315 average, 5 home runs. So 5 of his 18 home runs have come against the Yankees. And 11 ribbies. So 11 of his 54 ribbies against the Bombers.
Well, it's been a relatively quiet crowd today.
How much to cheer about?
Not much at all.
Derek Lowe now alongside Rapata. Ground ball is short. They get one, and that's all they'll get. A great stab by Cano, somehow keeping his foot on the bag. They could not get two.
Yeah, Jeter had to go hard to the right, then get rid of the ball quickly, and the throw is offline. Credit Cano's footwork at second base, not only for coming up with a grab of a wide throw, but keeping the left foot on the bag and then throwing on the first and making it close. The ball was hit so hard, he still had a little time. Couldn't reach out, step out of the way of the runner, and then relay the ball to first base. You are taught as an infielder or first base, don't expect a perfect throw. And in that regard, he certainly didn't get one, but still got one out.
Well, Machado moved to third on that ground ball, so first and third now, one out. And here is Nate McLeod. Count 1-0. Day is up again for the O's.
When McLeod was with Pittsburgh, he was their center fielder and a Gold Glove winner. But one thing that made him expendable in Pittsburgh was Andrew McCutchen in the minor leagues, who has come into his own as one of the better players in the National League.
Driven to right field. Foul.
So when McLeod began to slump, Pittsburgh traded him to Atlanta and kind of opened the way for McCutchen to take over. And he's done so. Out in front. Distance, but no direction. McLeod had a big home run the other night in Baltimore, with the Baltimore losing by a run. He had a 2-run homer in the 8th inning. Then the bullpen took over, and it was a 1-run victory.
Fastball strike, 1-2. Big batter here for Corota. Be tough to double up with his speed, and Adam Jones lurks on deck. Just missed inside.
That's how I got McLeod way back in the first inning. That spillover fastball hit the inside corner. Maybe it didn't have enough spill. Not that missed here in the 8th. Very close, but not quite. Let's see the reaction of Joe Girardi. He knows what that pitch was, a two-seamer.
Two. Shattered back, ground ball to Swisher. He's going to come home, and they get Machado.
Swisher didn't hesitate, got the ball home. Machado tagged out easily by Russell Martin. Been tough to turn to double play anyway with McLeod running. And there it is, just reach out and touch him. Broken bat on the splitter. Machado heading home right away, didn't hesitate, but called out.
So one more out. away from getting out of a jam, and here's Adam Jones. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Hardy's at second. McLeod is at first. Orioles 4, Yankees nothing. Check swing, blooper, right to Swisher, and that will do it. So he does work out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 runners left. It'll be Nix, Jeter, and Swisher. Want to just vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are today's candidates. Is it number 1, Miguel Gonzalez, number 2, Mark Reynolds, or number 3, J.J. Hardy? Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, Miguel Gonzalez pitched so beautifully, but Buck Showalter makes a call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And that call brings in the right-hander, Darren O'Day.
O'Day, who last worked on August 27th. He's had a very good year out of the bullpen. Right-handed batter sitting just 216 against him. And he'll get the call here in the 8th inning. 6-1 record with a 2.44. At second base is Robert Andillo. He takes over for Omar Quintanilla. He had been in there last inning as well.
There's Jason Nix.
So 9 strikeouts from Gonzalez, and he gives way to O'Day.
Hyundai scoreboard 4-0. Orioles lead. Nix is 0 for 1 with a walk. He's the DH tonight, batting 9th. There's a strike. Another great play by Reynolds. Can they get the out? Yes, O'Day beats Nix to the bag. 2 sparklers by Mark Reynolds at first.
For a guy who led the league in errors at third base last year, doing a pretty good job on the right side of the infield this year. From his knees, makes the accurate throw. O'Day a step or 2 ahead of Jason Nix for the out. Another good play by Reynolds. And there's your out.
Talking things over with hitting coach Kevin Long. He said, hey, you do what you had to do. It was just a great play. Here's Derek Jeter. Crowd of 43,352 here at the stadium on a Friday evening. Friday of Labor Day weekend. Swing and a miss. Brian Mattis and Pedro Strop. Oh. The line on Gonzalez was 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and no runs.
Mixed his pitches very, very well. Fastball not much higher than 93. But his changeup was exemplary, and his curveball, and he mixed a few in there very effectively. Kept the Yankees off balance all night long.
Leaders couldn't handle that one. Count 2-1. High fly ball. Right center, drifting back Jones. He'll make the play for the second out.
The Yankees really only had a couple of chances in this game, the way things have broken down against Gonzalez. And now with O'Day in there, that was the last inning, and somewhat of a chance in the 6th inning.
Derek Lowe continuing to throw.
In each of those 2 innings, back-to-back innings, they left a couple of men on. But prior to that, only 1 man had been left on base.
Here's Swisher, 0 for 3 against Gonzalez, 3 strikeouts. Count 2-0. Grounded foul, count 2-1.
Well, you saw Strop warming up in the Baltimore bullpen, and O'Day on the mound right now. The Orioles claimed both of them out of the Texas Rangers organization on waivers, and both of them are having very, very good seasons.
And look at Cody Epley with the Yankees, same deal. And the Yankees got Rapata from the Orioles.
Yeah, that's right.
And at the time, Buck Shaw always said we knew he was a good pitcher, but he's a better pitcher for a team that's going to contend. And I guess he didn't realize at the time his team was going to contend.
You talk about
Rapata.
Meaning that he could be brought in to face one
guy, right?
As opposed to when you're a team that's strong, you need to leave the guy in there to get some outs.
2-2. Swisher battling.
I think it was true a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if it's true now, but Rapata had more one-batter appearances than any reliever in the league. A few weeks ago, that was true.
Nick Swisher has struck out 4 times. A rare golden sombrero as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3, and we go to the 9th 4-0 O's. Our friend and colleague Ken Romano lost his battle with cancer at age 46 on Wednesday. A multiple Emmy Award winner and just an all-around great guy, Ken was a member of our Yes family in the tape room for the past 11 seasons and a veteran of the New York and national sports television community. Our deepest sympathies go out to his wife Jackie and their daughters Katie and Emma. Back here at the stadium, we go to the 9th inning. Yankees trail 4-0. Kuroda's still out there, and he'll face Wieters, Davis, and Reynolds. Count 1-0.
So with Kuroda starting here in the 9th inning, the Yankees don't come back and rally, at least tie the game. He has a chance to go 2 complete games in a row with losses.
Yep. Last time against the Indians, 8 innings, lost 3-1. If he gets these 3 outs, it'll be a 9-inning complete game, but the Yankees do have to rally. They have an opportunity in the bottom of the 9th. And it'll be Cano, Granderson, and Chavez. Yankees have not played good baseball of late. There's no way to spin it positively. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games. And it's always a question. And Kenny, you played the game at the highest level. When a team gets shut down this way, with a high fly ball to left field, Ibanez back on the track, leaps, and he makes the play. Nice play by Raul Ibanez, taking an extra base hit away from Wieters.
Wieters does have power to the opposite field. He shows it off here, but Ibanez maybe had one more step to go. Look, the right hand reaching out. That ball wouldn't have left the park. Would have been high off the wall. Instead, it's going to turn into an out as he gets up to get down and make the play. Raul Ibanez with a nice play out in left field.
Well, there's not going to be any complete game. They take Kuroda out as Joe Girardi goes to the bullpen. And Ken, I want you to mull this over when we come back. Are they flat, or was it the pitching against them? That's a tough question. We'll answer in a moment. This divisional showdown coverage will start at noon without a batting practice today, and then the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then Kenny and I are back to follow all the action right here from the Bronx. Only on Yes. So Clay Rapata will come on to face Chris Davis. So what is it, Kenny? Flat, or is it the pitcher?
I don't know if you get flat this time of year. I'm going to give Gonzalez a lot of credit for the way he pitched. As I said, he mixed up his pitch as well. The Yankees know the importance of these games. They've seen their lead, dwindle down to, if they lose this one, down to 2 games. So, and the Orioles are a hot team. They've won 5 out of 6 coming in. Kuroda pitched well enough to win most games like he did in his last start. They just start hitting. And there's players out of the lineup now that could help them. But that's no excuse. All teams have injuries, and other guys are going to have to step up to get the job done. It just didn't happen tonight.
Yeah, no one's going to throw any pity parties for the Yankees, but they are undermanned. They've lost, the middle of their lineup with Teixeira and A-Rod, and before that, Gardner and Andy Pettit's out, Mariano Rivera, but they've been able to battle through things now. It seems like they're a little short offensively.
That shows you the importance of the 10-game lead that they built up, because they had this cushion. Now, if they lose tonight, it's down to 2. But I think one thing that Joe Girardi has to remind his team, they still have the lead. And tomorrow's game becomes the important game. And I always felt that in a 3-game series, that the second game was the important one anyway.
Right back to Rapata. And he throws it high, but Swisher gets back on the bag. We've seen Rapata have throws to bases before with trouble, and he tried to get a double play at second base and threw it into center field. So he gets the one batter that he's going to face.
Yeah, we mentioned the one batter appearances, and he gets Chris Davis, who is now 0 for 6 lifetime against Rapata. And Nick Swisher quick foots it back to the bag.
Well, Joe Girardi will now go to the right-hander with Reynolds due up, and it's going to be Derek Lowe as the Yankees trail 4-0. Newman and Jack Curry are back in the studio with a wrap up tonight's matchup and a look around baseball. Plus, Meredith Marakovitz has the players' reaction and Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. So Derek Lowe, season numbers with the Indians and the Yankees, comes on to face Mark Reynolds. Reynolds a big blow in this game, the 2-run home run in the second inning. That made it 3-0. And then J.J. Hardy's solo home run in the 6th made it 4-0. That's the scoring. So they scored in the 2nd, they scored in the 6th. Count 1-1. High drive, left field. Ibanez back on the track. See ya! Another home run for Mark Reynolds. This one a solo shot. It's 5-0 O's.
He might be getting on one of those streaks. This one not quite as far as the first one, with the same type of home run. A high, majestic drive to left field. First one got in the second deck. This one in the lower deck and right. Another high fastball. And gone.
2 home runs, 2 outstanding plays in the field. And Robert Andino with his first at bat takes up and in. Line drive, base hit. And Dino will pick up a 2-out single.
Gets a hit in his first at bat.
And here is Manny Machado. Nice play in the dugout by Adam Jones.
Mistake is Jones turns that into a souvenir that Machado wears number 13. Like,
no,
like
I don't think so.
Look at.
Count 1-1.
Machado just 4 for his last 23.
Ground ball off the middle and a base hit. So he's 2 for 4 tonight. And Derek Lowe certainly a bit of an inauspicious outing.
Second game in the big leagues. Machado at Camden Yards early this year hit 2 home runs. If you watch closely, well, you got to watch quicker than that. The same guy got both home runs. He got a couple of pies at the end of the game. 2 homers and 2 pies. First 2 major league homers.
So first and second, Orioles lead 5-0. Here's Nick Markakis with 2 outs.
Yeah, Machado's actually his first big league hit was a triple. The next night he came back with 2 homers.
There's a strike. One and one. Right back up the middle and through for a base hit. And Dino will score. Machado will go to third. Markakis with his 3rd hit of the night. And the Orioles lead 6-0, and the Boo Birds are out in the Bronx.
Yeah, Markakis has been in the big league since 2006. Rookie year, he played 147 games, hit 291. And this is the first time he's ever experienced playing on a winning team. And really taken to the leadoff spot. That's his 3rd hit of the night. And drives in his first run. So Derek Lowe has come in, giving him a home run and 3 straight singles.
J.J. Hardy takes Lowe away. Count 1-1. And a strike.
You know, when you think back to the heyday of Derek Lowe, back in his days with the Red Sox, he had one of the best sinking fastballs in the whole game, maybe the best sinker in the game, as he worked as both a starter and as a reliever with the Red Sox. But the ball does not have that heavy sink that it used to, and maybe not quite the velocity as well. It sunk so well, it was like a breaking ball.
Well, his ineffectiveness here in the top of the 9th inning, almost putting this out of reach. A lot of the crowd heading home. 4-0 seemed tough enough. Now 6-0. The 2-2. Grounded to short. Jeter fires to second to get the force, and that will do it. But the Orioles get 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 left. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? We go to the bottom of the 9th. Lakeland, Alex Rodriguez 0 for 3, scored a run, walked once, struck out twice. David Artsma threw an inning. He started the game, didn't allow a hit. And Pedro Feliciano, the lefty specialist, who's been out for 2 years, he pitched for Staten Island in Brooklyn tonight, and he gave up a home run in that game. New pitcher for the Orioles is Brian Mattis.
You might remember Mattis as a starting pitcher. And he had some success in a starting role, but now working out of the bullpen. Last time he was sent to the minor leagues, they turned him into a reliever. And he says he likes it. And in my experience, all the years in the majors and around baseball, there are some pitchers who are more effective as relief pitchers as opposed to starters. When they sit around, they know when they're going to pitch as a starter. You come to the ballpark as a reliever, you don't know if you're going to be in there that night. And some pitchers, the not knowing factor makes them better.
Cano fouls it away. Six nothing. Orioles lead 6-12-0, leading 0-4-0. Yankees left a runner on base in the 4th. And the Rays lose again as they are really slumping offensively. They lose to the Blue Jays 2-1. Here the Yankees are down 6-0. Swing and a miss. I'll tell you what, Kenny, Cano does not look that great of late. I know he was 10 for his last 26 coming in, but he's 0 for 4 and just doesn't really look sharp of late.
Well, a lot of times the hard work will pay off, and he worked out earlier today with Kevin Long, and sometimes the results are not immediate. Certainly not tonight. A couple of strikeouts. He did hit one ball well, but 0 for 4 on the night.
There's a strike to Granderson. A lot of people looked at this as the game that the Yankees really were going to win because Kuroda's been pitching so well, and this matchup kind of favored them. And that was when they thought Freddie Garcia was pitching tomorrow, but Freddie's been moved to Tuesday against the Rays. And tomorrow it's going to be the youngster David Phelps against Wei-Yin Chen, who's a really good pitcher. And then Chris Tillman on Sunday against Phil Hughes.
Yeah, Tillman's been pitching much better of late, too.
That one is driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Yankees on the board. A home run for Granderson. And another home run off of the lefty.
That's his 13th against left-handed pitching this year, his 34th overall of the season. And the Yankees will not be shut out tonight. That is the 200th home run of the season for the Yankees. They haven't hit one since Monday. And Granderson getting them on the board here in the 9th inning. Albeit it is now 6-1.
Soft ground ball. And Chavez is down. So they've reached 200 home runs. That's the most in Major League Baseball. They lead the Blue Jays by 28 and the White Sox by 29.
Well, this setup, this inning was set up for Matt as 4 straight left-handed hitters. And while he's gotten 2 of them, he couldn't get Granderson.
Swing and a miss. And that is going to do it as Ibanez down on strikes. And the Yankees score a run here in the 9th inning on the home run by Granderson. But a lackluster performance by the Bombers as they lose to the Orioles 6-1. And Baltimore's close to within 2 of the New York Yankees. And about a month ago, the Yankees had a 10-game lead over the O's. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. So the Orioles continue their hot streak, and the Yankees have now lost 7 of 10. We'll be back to wrap things up.